don't really know where it's going. I like the hero. I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to cry. Words? What are they? Why did you put this as a 5-star prediction? You could have picked any other historical fiction book. Any other one? Hi everyone, my name is Tori. This is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog. I'm very excited for this reading vlog because I am reading my 5-star predictions. Over on my Patreon, every quarter I'll go through like 5 or 6 5-star predictions that I had, tell you my rating, and then give you my next 5-star predictions like for the next quarter. And I recently did that at the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April, because that was the end of the quarter. And I thought a lot of my audiobooks for that 5-star prediction came in from my library. So I thought now is the perfect time to do a vlog for that. So I'm reading my 5-star predictions. Now it's a mix of like new releases, backlist books that I've had. It's a mix of all types of genres, literally all types of genres. So I'm gonna go through the one that I'm literally the most excited for, but I'm really scared. Like, I'm 100% honest with you. I'm really scared for this one. And that is Blood Over Brighthaven by Emma Wang. So I read The Sword of Kaylie. It was my first book of the year. And these are fantasy. They're not fantasy romances. I'm pretty sure that's the same with this one. It's more fantasy rather than like fantasy romance. And I'm totally fine with that. But a lot of people said that if you love The Sword of Kaylie, you're gonna love this one. I don't think it takes place in the same world. No. I don't think so, but there's like this map on the inside. It says the first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of mages unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever in this standalone dark fantasy from the author of The Sword of Kaylie. Okay. I'm very excited. So I do have the audiobook. The ebook was actually on sale for $1.99, so I bought that too, because with fantasy, specifically with The Sword of Kaylie, I listened and I read physically and I really liked that. So I wanted to do that the same way with this one, but I did buy this like back when in January when I first read The Sword of Kaylie, because I wanted this on my shelf. So it has like the sprayed edges, all of that. Beautiful. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. Another 5-star prediction I have is Enchantra by Kaylie Smith. I read Phantasma at the end of 2024, like around fall time, and it was perfect. It was set in New Orleans, set in this like creepy house. The hero was a ghost. The female character was a necromancer. She had to go through these trials, which was so cool. And it was spooky, horror, like gothic vibes all wrapped into one, and that was perfect for me. Now, I have heard mixed things about Enchantra. This one just came out in April, and I was scared to read it. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so I will be reading that one on my Kindle. I'm very excited, but I heard like it's fine. Like it was just fine. It wasn't overly amazing, but I still have a feeling it could be a 5-star for me because I love the gothic vibes. I love the like atmosphere of books too, and that's what this one was giving. Now, the other one that I want to read, which I really hope I get to in this vlog, I don't know if I am because her books are very heavy, but that is The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah. So I want to get through Kristin Hannah's backlist. I really do. And I heard from my friend Kristy from Kristy Reads a Lot that this was one of her favorite Kristin Hannah books. I think we both love The Women, like that's the top one for us. But this one takes place in 1974 Alaska. So I guess it's like a forced together a family out in the wilderness, and I guess the dad or someone comes home from the Vietnam War changed and a volatile man. I don't know, she just said this was heavy. So sometimes when I go into her books, I have to be in like the right mindset, but I really want to read this one. This is another 5-star predictions I have. So those are the 3 that are like top priority for this vlog. I don't know if I'll read any more, but I just wanted to tell you about those 3 because I definitely want to get to them. Let's go ahead and get this vlog started. It's probably gonna be a long one because I'm starting this relatively early from when this is going up, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get this vlog started. Before we dive into some 5-star predictions, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Ultrahuman Ring Air. So the Ultrahuman Ring Air's unique feature has sleep tracking, recovery monitoring, and movement tracking, and you'll see me throughout this whole vlog wearing this ring, and I really like it. I've been using the app. I think it's absolutely amazing to see what my sleep score is going to be when I wake up, see if I hit certain goals, see what my heart rate is, see when I am certainly stressed about certain things going on. With the Ultrahuman Ring Air, there is no subscription fees for accessing all the features on the app, unlike some other competitors. And I really like this ring because one, it fits. They sent me a whole sizing kit before to wear for a couple days to sleep with, to make sure that even while you're sleeping, the ring still stays on. It does not become too tight or anything like that. I really like the Ultra Human Ring Air because they have a menstrual cycle tracking feature that allows you to kind of track your cycle over time. And I love that that is an option. Also, I really thought this setup was super easy. It took me like maybe 10 minutes to set this all up. While I was using this ring, it's actually improved my physical health. I've started to set time aside for myself to focus on my movement, get my steps in and all of that, because on the app it reminds you in a gentle way, and I really like it. And it tells you optimize sleep times, optimize caffeine times, your caffeine window. It tells you all the things, and I really like it. So thank you to Ultra Human Ring Air for sponsoring this video. Hi, hello, a little update time for you. Okay, so I feel a certain type of way, and I have a lot of thoughts already. So I started The Great Alone yesterday in the middle of the day, and well, towards like my end of my day, basically. And I was listening last night a little bit while I finished up some like graphics and stuff for my Patreon, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna listen to this morning. So I had some spreadsheet work to do, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pop on this audiobook. And then while I was doing my hair, doing my makeup, because I had to film today, I was like, you know what, let's keep listening. So I'm officially 28% into this book. So I'm in the middle of chapter 9, and the chapters are actually very long. Now, with this book, I really didn't know exactly what it was going in, but basically the year is 1974. You see our female character. She's 12 or 13, so she's in her early teens. And you see that her parents are struggling. Her dad is a prisoner of war from Vietnam, which, oh my god, I can't even imagine the things that he went through. But he has a lot of like PTSD to where he gets angry, he lashes out sometimes, he'll have really bad nightmares, stuff like that, right? And you see her mom is like really trying to, I wouldn't say give him the benefit of the doubt, because it's not what it is, but it's like stick with him. She understands where it's coming from and like why he's struggling and all this stuff like that. And it is really sad to see. But then you see that they've like bounced around from place to place. They've tried like to save money, and like he has a drinking problem, so he uses his money up and stuff like that. He gets this letter from a friend from the military. It basically says, I left 40 acres to you in Alaska with a cabin. So he's like, this is our chance. We wanted to get away. Let's go up there. And basically it's this like family journey of traveling and going to Alaska, being acquainted with the lifestyle up there. And I guess back then in the town that they live in, it's very like not anything. The town knows each other. It's like 30 people that live there. They help each other out when they can, which is like very common. They're homesteaders, so they have to like catch all their stuff, grow all their stuff. So they go up around springtime, and the time progression that I'm in the middle of this book is they're now early December. Yeah, early December. So they're just getting into the heart of winter up there, which is what the people who've lived there previously told her family, that that's when people usually think they can live through this, but they can't, and they dip. And you see that her dad is really struggling still. Like, she knew in her head, she mentioned this too in her thoughts, like, oh, they think going up there is going to fix everything, dad's going to be okay again. it's not gonna happen. Like, obviously they have hope, but that's not actually gonna happen. And you see he still struggles with nightmares and stuff like that. But honestly, like, I think her dad thought, like, oh, this would be good, but it puts him in that mindset of fight or flight again, which I feel like he had as a prisoner of war, obviously. Like, the fight or flight of, we have to, you know, hunt and gather, we have to do all this stuff, we have to be prepared, blah, blah, blah. And you see that there's this other, they call him Crazy Earl, he drinks all the time and stuff like that. He's like an older man. I don't know if he went, oh, I think he went through World War II, if I'm not mistaken. And you see that they get together and they're like, we have to be prepared, you know, like, people are gonna come and, you know, take us over and try and take all of our land and blah, blah, blah. Like, these crazy, like, doomsday things, like all of the stuff that's happened in the 70s. It's a little bit of history of, like, the Cuban Missile Crisis, stuff like that. And I do find it interesting. I just don't know where this is going. Kristy from Kristy Reads a Lot, she's read a lot of Kristin Hannah's books, and she said that this one was heavy. And I'm like, okay, but where's the heaviness? And I did actually send it to my dad, because my dad was in the military for 20 years, and I thought that he would find this interesting. And he's like, you know me, I don't really read. He's like, what's it about? And so I sent him this summary. He was like, oh, so another crazy person, a crazy military guy that dips. And I was like, what? So I actually went and read it. So I guess her dad leaves at some point. I don't know if he leaves or if something happens to him. I don't know. I just don't know where this is going. Like, usually when I read The Women by this time, like 30% in, I had an idea of where the book was going. But the last half of that book really surprised me. So I'm very intrigued, because I recently read The Nightingale last year, at the end of last year. And I gave that one 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite. So I wanted to give this one a try, because I feel like this is, how do I say this? Kristin Hannah can write. There's no doubt about that. I love her writing style. I love the way she tells a story. I love the, like, the all-encompassing, you don't all just get to know our female character that we're following, like, who's 13 years old. We get to know the mom, the dad, we get to know all the things, we get to know the people in the town. So I'm just like, where is this going? That's my question. So I'm gonna keep reading. Obviously, I don't know when, like, things will happen. I have to film and then I have to work for the rest of the day, so I'll definitely get into stuff. I don't know how many time jumps there are. When I was trying to find my chapter, I saw that we skipped to 1978, so that means 4 years later, but I don't know if there's another time jump. I don't like to physically look through the book, because I feel like it's going to spoil something for me if I see something, but I don't see any other time jump. So I'm listening to the audiobook, and it's narrated by Julia Whalen, which I love her as a narrator, and yeah, she's just doing it for me. So I'm very excited to continue this. Do I think it's going to be a 5-star read? I don't know, because I don't know where we're going. Like, right now, I'm like, it's a story. I'm learning about their life in Alaska now, but, like, what else is happening? You know what I mean? Like, where else is this going to go? So I'm definitely intrigued. I don't know where else is going to go, but I'm going to keep reading, and we shall see if this will be a 5-star, because I have a feeling it will be. But now I'm like second guessing myself. I'm like, why did you put this? Like, why did you put this as a 5-star prediction? You could have picked any other historical fiction book, any other one. Anyway, I'll update you guys later, but that's all my thoughts. Do they make sense? Probably not, but there you go. The lighting is awful because it's dark. It's almost 10 at night, but hello. I wanted to update you while I have my post-workout snack. So I have been trying to get back into using my treadmill and walking and moving my body, and I'm trying to find the best time for that between, like, work-life balance, you know? I don't do well with morning workouts, like getting up and working out. I don't do well with that. But my post-workout snack that I have it in a mug today because the dishwasher's on with all of our dishes. I have cottage cheese and crushed pineapple. And I know everyone has their way of eating cottage cheese, okay? This is how my dad used to eat it. I mean, he still eats it kind of like this. He doesn't really eat cottage cheese anymore, but we used to get, like, the breakstones. I think it was breakstones, where it had, like, the cottage cheese on one side and the crushed pineapple stuff on the other, but that has a lot of sugar. So I literally just get crushed pineapple, like, in the can with no added sugar. And I eat, like, 1/4 of a cup of cottage cheese, which is only, like, 8 grams of protein, which isn't a lot. Like 7. Isn't a lot, but I just need a little bit of stuff on my stomach. I did this last night. I worked out way too late last night because I got done with work late. And usually what I do is I read on my treadmill, because my treadmill has a screen, and I just plug my phone in, turn it sideways, and I read on my Kindle. But I didn't really have a Kindle book that I wanted to read, so I got to exactly 50% actually of my audiobook of The Great Alone, and I have a lot more thoughts because I'm now, like, what page am I on? So I'm 276 pages in, so I'm literally like 50 excuse me, I'm exactly 50% into this book. And I still don't know where this is going. I still don't know where it's going. I still don't know like what's happening. We did see that, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, but we do see that her dad is abusive to her mom. He gets into these like, I don't want to say episodes or fits, but it's like he kind of like blacks out and then something has to happen to like pull him back, if that makes sense. So that happens and the neighbors come after, like they try to leave the mom and, what's her name? Lorena? What do they call her? They call her Lenny, but her name's like Lenora or something. But when Lenny and her mom Cora try to leave, their van flips in the snow because it's super like deep in the winter and she gets stuck. Lenny has to go get the neighbors, and the neighbors basically give him an ultimatum. It's like, when you're stuck in this house, basically seasonal depression will hit you. For him, it's all year round, but like when he's stuck, when it's dark, when he's in this house by himself with everyone, that's when it gets worse. So they make him go to like the pipelines to work on like 6 months on, and then he has like 6 months off basically. So that's what he's been doing, but now he's come back and Mimi's here. Now he's come back and it's like 4 years later and Lenny's older, she's 17 now. Matthew's back. Matthew is someone she had like a slight crush on when they were like 12 or 13. And his mom passed away after falling into a river and he was there, so he's very scarred by it. He went to go see a therapist, yada, yada, yada. So he's back, and that's all it is. That's all it is. I'm like, but what's this? Where are we going? What's happening? So yeah, it's a slow moving book. And because of that, I need something stimulating. Usually I will read like one book at a time. That's usually how it goes. But when I have a slow book like this that I'm listening to an audio, I have to have some other audio or some other physical book where it's like stimulating to me, to where I'm like, okay, fast moving, fun, romance, like stuff like that. That's usually how it is. So I'm actually going to start Enchantra. I'm actually very excited because I've been wanting to read this. And I've heard mixed reviews. Some people said it's a little bit boring, but some people said it's great. So I want to know what it's about. So I'm going to start that. It's only 443 pages. I said it's only 443 pages, but Phantasma reads really, really quickly. Like this is 550, a little over 550 pages, and it's slow. But I'm going to start physically reading that tonight. I'm going to go take a shower. Enchantra is about the sister from the first book, and so I don't know what kind of powers she has. I don't know if she has any powers. I know her sister was a necromancer, but I don't know if that means she has those powers. So I'm very intrigued. That's all I know. I'm going to go into it blind. I'm going to sit here, cool off some more because I'm still like sweating. Like this leather couch is, my like legs are sticking and I'm like really sweating, and I can't wait to like wash off my makeup. I hate sweating in makeup, but I had to film today, so you know. Anyway, I'm gonna eat my little cottage cheese pineapple mixture because I'm like an old person, and I will talk to you guys later. I am trying everything in my power right now not to burst into tears. I truly mean that. I'm trying everything not to burst into tears, guys. Whew, this book, I have lots of thoughts. So I'm currently on sprints with my Patreons. I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to cry. I have lots of thoughts, but I need to get it together to be able to tell you. Okay, wait, I need a second. Okay, give me a second. Okay, hello. I have gotten my stuff together. I actually took a break and did one more reading sprint with like one 40-minute reading sprint with my patrons, and I read some Enchantra because that's my physical book that I'm reading on my Kindle. But I feel confident enough that I can talk about The Great Alone really quickly. So I feel like my thoughts are now more concise, and I can tell you why I love this book. This was a 5-star read. It was touch and go a little bit, and I was chatting with my patrons about this book because I was like I had a lot of thoughts. So I thought this book was more going to follow Lenny and her story and what she's going through living in Alaska, like going there at 13, and then we see her at 17, then we see her at 25, and then we see her right after she turns, I think it was like 25, it was 26, she goes back home to Alaska. And so you see this kind of like evolution of her life, and just like, I guess that is that like 15 years of her life or something like that. And it's a whirlwind of emotion. Now, I don't want to spoil anything about this book, but my thing with Kristin Hannah's writing is that she can write really, really well. I know that. I know this about her. And I love how she weaves multiple stories into one book. So this is not just Lenny's story. It's following her mother, Cora. It's following Cora's journey too, that she has gone through with her mother. It is about Lenny and the children that she has in this book. It's a lot that happens about like being a mom and having children and that kind of like what you pass down or whatever. And this really hit me. I mean, it's around Mother's Day, and obviously like my mom, love my mom. I've been thinking about her more so than lately. She has some health stuff going on, so it's just like in the forefront of my mind. And there's a moment where Lenny has to say goodbye to her mom, and it was very similar to how my mom had to kind of say goodbye to her mom, but she wasn't actually like in the same room with her. So it's an interesting story. It does deal with abuse. The dad, Lenny's dad, is very abusive, and that is a very big part of their story, and like the love that a mother has for her child, and like what that is and what that looks like. And it's just interesting. Like, I'm not someone who wants children. That's not something I want, but I appreciate this story a lot. But I also love, what got me was the ending of the book with a certain character. I don't want to spoil anything, but that really got me to tear up. If you've read this, you know why it gets me. But yeah, it's just a really good book. A 5-star prediction. Was a 5-star. Hell yes. Okay, now this one, Enchantra, I have a lot to say. I'm 33% in. I got 20% into the book last night, and then I read about 13% on sprints. So I have mixed feelings because it's okay. It's not giving me the same vibes as Phantasma. That is kind of like a mystery of who the hero was going to be and what's going to happen. Like, this one is very much a marriage of convenience right off the bat. She's stuck in what they call the Hunt, which is like a game at the Enchantra mansion. It's not a mansion, it's not a castle, it's like an estate basically. And you see that there's this family, the Silver family, and they have to go through this hunt. They're cursed by a devil, which we know the hierarchy of devils from Phantasma and stuff like that. So they say that she's mortal and she doesn't have magic, but she does have magic. You kind of see that she's struggling with that. So I don't really know where it's going. I like the hero, but that's very much enemies to lovers right now. Like, he hates her, she hates him. They get married for the sake of she's stuck and they want a chance at her still winning. And something with her being a Silver, that's the reason why, like, I actually have to take the name Silver. So it's fine. I just, at 33%, I know for Phantasma I liked it a lot more. So I'm a little nervous because, like I said, I've heard some people say it's not the best, but I still am holding out hope that maybe I'll like it. I just hope that it's a good read. I wish it would be a 5-star read. I'm really hoping that it's a 5-star, but if it's not, I'm okay with that. I just want it a good read. So at this point, I mean, of course I want it to be a 5-star, but I don't know how that's feeling. Like, but then again, this book at 30-40% did give me 5-star vibes. I was intrigued, but I wasn't like, yes, 5-star. So things could turn around for Enchantra. But me and my Kindle, we are going to take my butt downstairs. I'm going to sit down and shower. Took me a second to get my thoughts together about The Great Alone because I was literally about to cry. On my Patreon, I was about to cry with them too because I was chatting about it with them. But I'm gonna go. Tomorrow's Friday. Yippee. Very excited. I think tomorrow I'm gonna start the audiobook of Blood Over Brighthaven and see if I can listen to it while I make graphics while I work. So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm very excited because I have really high hopes for this one. Everyone keeps telling me I'm gonna love it. So this is the one where I really think is gonna be a 5-star because I love the Sword of Kagan so much. Anyway, we're getting 3 different types of genres in this: historical fiction, fantasy, romantasy-ish, and a fantasy. Look at me go. Look at me go. Hello. Wow, the lighting is so good. So usually when I vlog, it's either upstairs or in my library. What's my hair doing? Hi, Missy. Hi. Yes. But today is Friday and I wanted to update you, but my parents are about to come over and so I'm downstairs and I just brought my camera downstairs. But we have windows everywhere. Like you can see behind me, I have windows there. We have windows all in front of me. It's in our living room. It's just very bright. But this lighting, I wish I was wearing more makeup. Anyway, I have an update because like I said, got off work a little early. I say a little early, like an hour early. I ended it just because I got everything I needed to get done today, which is so good. But I finished Enchantra and I feel a little conflicted. So I read a decent amount yesterday and I read a decent amount today. It's like almost 7. Because I literally just finished it and I'm like comparing my love of Phantasma to this book. It's more of like a 3.5, 4. Like it wasn't horrible. I did like the ending a lot. I just felt like some of the stuff in the middle was a little repetitive. Like with Phantasma, there was a lot of differences between the levels in Phantasma, but with Enchantra, it's more like kind of the same thing. Like she's getting to know the siblings all while the game is going on and all this stuff like that. So that part wasn't my favorite. So it's probably gonna be a 4 on Goodreads, more like a 3.5, like for my own personal like rating system. So yeah, unfortunately that one was not a 5-star, but I went in a little wary. So yeah, a little wary with that one. But I do have the audiobook for Blood Over Brighthaven that I'm gonna start. My audiobook is due back Tuesday night. It's Friday, so we'll see if I get kind of far. I am going to film like a 48-hour Patreon vlog where I read some arcs. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this weekend. So I won't read this until maybe Sunday night, Monday, but I think I can get to it because it's not like super, super long. Like it's the same, it's shorter than The Great Alone. And I finished that in 3 days. So I do have the ebook for this as well. So I'll be listening and reading along on my Kindle. I do have the hardback. So this will be my next read, but that's my really quick update. I wish I had more to say about Enchantra, but like 3 or 3.5 star books are so hard to talk about because I'm like, well, I can't spoil anything for you. Hi, you wanna come up here? Yeah, I know I'm in your spot. Come on, right here, come on. Yeah, come on, sit. You gonna sit? Oh, that's a good girl. Yes, you're so good. Yes, you're so good. You're so good. You're naked. We took off your collar last night. We never put it back on. You're naked, girl. I know, you're so good. Okay, you gotta stay. You gotta stay there, okay? You gotta stay there. I gotta update the vlog. I gotta update the vlog. Anyway, I wish I could say more about Enchantra, but it's like 3.5 and 4 stars. 3.5 or 3-star books are so hard to talk about because there's not anything that I overly loved about it, but there wasn't anything like I really disliked, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to update you and tell you my thoughts because it was like, okay, if that makes sense. I'm interested to see if she's going to do books about the other 6 siblings, the silver siblings, because you do get to see all of them. She is a silly dog. You are silly, silly. You are silly, silly. My parents are about to come over and you're about to get all the attention. Anyway, that's the only update I have for Enchantra. I have a lot higher hopes for Blood Over Brighthaven. I've seen a lot of people vlog that book and I haven't really done anything and watched those vlogs because I don't want to know anything until I go into that completely blind. Oh, those are my books? No, that's my books. Sit. Good girl. You want to show them your trick? Paw. Good girl, good girl. She's so good. She's so good. Anyway, me and Nisi are gonna go. My parents are gonna be here soon with some pizza. We're just gonna have a good Friday night. I'll talk to you guys later. Hi, hello. It is a filming day, and that means I'm here to update you because I have a pretty decent update, and I'm very excited to share it. So I was planning to not read this book. Not because I don't think it's going to be a 5-star read, because I have a feeling it is, but I was like, ooh, am I feeling like a strict fantasy? I just read a Bang and Mafia romance. I read it as a Patreon exclusive reading vlog, but it's an arc of Be With Me by Gabrielle Sands that comes out on the 12th. So the day after you're seeing this vlog. Anyway, and I love that. I was not expecting that to be a 5-star, but I was like, ooh, I'm coming off of a really dark mafia romance. I love that. I love the nitty gritty. And then I was like, you know what? No. My audiobook for Blood Over Brighthaven is due back on Tuesday. It's Sunday. And I said, you know what? No. While I do my hair, while I do my makeup, which took a decent amount of time today, I was like, I am going to start this book. I'm going to start it and see how I feel about it. Is it going to drag me in? Because it is labeled as a dark fantasy. So it's a standalone too, which I know that makes me feel amazing. I said, okay, cool. It's a dark fantasy, so it may give me that nitty gritty stuff, and I am here for that. So I listened to about an hour of the audiobook, which is only like 35 pages, so I'm not very far in, but that is okay. I already like the characters. This starts off with a bang. You see this like clan, basically, that they're running from the Blythe that's on this lake, and they're trying to get into, I think it's Brighthaven. Is that what it's called? They pass over this like magical border over a lake, so the lake has Blythe over it, and like this magic protective dome is over this city, and you can kind of see it in the map. You see how it's like a dome, like a circle. And this clan, who has been, you know, over the years, tens of thousands of members have passed away. There's basically less than 50 of them, and they're trying to all cross the lake to get into the city, because it's like a safe haven, but they have to cross the lake. You're following this one main male character, and you see it's him, his sister, his brother-in-law, and his niece, who's, I want to say like 4 years old. She's relatively small. Basically, everyone crosses the lake except him and his niece. And so they're like, okay, we'll put him in the camp, do away with the girl. And he's like, no, this is my daughter. And he claims her as his daughter because they have in their religion, like, familial ties are very important. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for that. So they go to some type of camp, and we don't see his point of view, but then we switch to our female character, who is Sayana, I think is how it's pronounced. And she is one of the only women in the last 20 years to try out to become a prestigious mage. Now, mages are only men in this world, and they only offer one woman every 10 years to take the mage test. So her oh my god, mentor is a guy, and he's like, I think you can pass this, yada yada yada. So she's literally about to go into the test, and you see her traveling from like the house that she grew up in to the mage, like the city, the university, what is it called, University of Magics and Industry. So it is very, very interesting, because I know Emma Wang from the Sword of Kaigen. I know that she puts this heavy emphasis on what women should be and what they want to be. And I love that like dynamic of like the undercurrents of talking about what a woman should be and what she wants to be. Does that make sense? So yes, she wants to be this mage and stuff like that, but every other woman in her family just wants her to teach magic at the local school and become a nice wife and have kids and yada yada yada. And she's like, no, I want to do what I want to do. So yeah, I love that, and I knew that that was probably going to be a little bit part of this story. So I'm interested to see where our two characters that we're following kind of merge. I know this is not a romance. I mean, she doesn't really write romances, so I don't expect a romance in here, but I'm ready for like the fantastical aspect, like, because I'm only 2 chapters in, I'm already intrigued. So I have to film today, clearly, since I have my hair and makeup very done up. But after that, I am going to listen to the audiobook, cook dinner, meal prep, stuff like that, and I am ready to dive in. I'm ready to dive in. Anyway, I wanted to update you guys just because before I dive into everything that I have to do today, I did want to update you on that. So I was not going to worry about reading this book. I was going to just end the vlog with 2 books, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna read it now. If I don't read it with the audiobook now, I'm gonna have to wait like 16 weeks for the audiobook to come back, and then I'm never gonna read it. So it's a now or never situation, and I'm ready for it. So Blood Over Brighthaven, it's gonna be a 5-star. I have a feeling. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Hello. I have a pretty big reading update for you, and if I look tired, it's because I very much am tired. I stayed up till like 2 in the morning last night reading this book. Words? What are they? Like, I spent most of last night reading this book, okay? And I spent so much time thinking about this book. So like, I stayed up reading, and then I told my husband about this book because I just needed someone to talk to, right? Like, I was just laying in bed and I'm like contemplating life based around this book. And it's like 2 in the afternoon, okay? And I was like, I don't know what words to say about this book to convey what I'm trying to say, and like how much I love and appreciate this book, and how much I love M.L. Wang's writing, okay? So I'm officially 75% into this book, and I wanted to stop here, so I only have this much left, okay? And, oh my god, okay, so how do I say this? I literally don't even know where to start. So when I started this book, I was only like a chapter or 2 into this book, and I was like, ooh, this is intriguing, I love it, blah blah blah. And you see the story of the 2 characters, Sayana and Thamel, right? you see how they like merge together. And I love that in fantasy romance. Well, I love that in fantasy books where we see two characters. It's like that in the Ember and the Ashes series where by Salva Tahir, where you're following these two characters in the first book or most of the first book, and at the end they kind of converge into one storyline. And I love the storyline that it converges. But this book is so much more than just you're following these two characters' stories, okay? When people say reading isn't political, I want to punch them. I want to punch them so badly, because this whole story, the backstory of everything that is happening in this book, is so relevant to so many times in our history across all different countries. But it's so relevant now outside of that, right? Like outside of this book. But then you put it into this book where not only do I feel for these two characters who come from very different ethnic backgrounds and cultural backgrounds, right? And you see how one has been this character that is, you know, put into the slums just because of where he comes from, and he's literally just trying to escape the torture that's outside of this city, this protected city. You see Sayana, who is this first woman mage in years, hundreds of years, right? And you see that she's uncovered this horrific secret that basically her government has been keeping, and she tries to raise the alarm on that, right? And she's like, what are we doing? Why is this happening? This is literally goes against everything that we believe in. And not only are the two characters from different ethnic and cultural backgrounds, they're from different religious backgrounds. And when Thamel is her assistant, assigned as her assistant, on this like one of a, like on a whim basically, that the other mages were like, here, take this, you know, Quinn, he's just a janitor, you know, you're just a woman mage, like you don't need help, like, you know, basically all the men are talking down to her because she's the first woman mage. And it's just so heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, the things that these characters have gone through. And you see Kara, and she is Thamel's niece, but you see that he says that's his daughter, because in you know, the people in this protected city, their religion, they don't separate families. God forbid they don't separate families. They just don't let the children go to school, and they don't let the children have any freedoms. They just are working and doing all the work that they don't want to do. Like, does this sound familiar? This very much, if you live in the United States, should sound familiar, and it should anger you. And I felt a lot of emotions with this book, and I really feel like I'm not explaining. I really feel like I'm not explaining this book. In the beginning was a lot slower than I was expecting. Like, I read The Sword of Kaigen, which I think was published before this book, if I'm not mistaken, or vice versa. I don't remember, but this one is a little slow because it's explaining the sonographs, and I think that's what they're called. There's like a, is that the sonograph? Oh, spellograph, that's what it's called. So like this is how the spells are cast and stuff like that. And it's very interesting, and it's a lot. You have to pay attention to the beginning. And while that is very slow, when I got past 35%, and that's where I was yesterday, I've been stuck on this book for a couple days at like getting to 35%, because it's really just her learning about spells, her trying to come up with this project, and blah, blah, blah. And it seems so simplistic. And there's this part at 35% into this book where everything just implodes as she finds out all of these things. You know, Thamel, he uncovers and tells her all of these things about his culture, and she's putting these pieces together. And she's like, my government would never do that. Like, the mages would never do that. The high mages, the archmages, the supreme mage, like, would never do all this stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, they would. Like, yeah. So she brings it up, and she is pushed down. She was like, no. She's basically told it is God's will, the way that this is happening. We live in this protected city for a reason, and we are doing these things for us to live in this city. I love this book. If I would have told you, like, I was not in the mood for fantasy. I was not in the mood. And I said, you know what? Literally in the last clip, I said, if I don't read it right now, I'm never going to read it. And when I do that with books, they usually turn out to be surprising to me in some type of way. I am in love with this author's writing. I am in love with the way that she puts so many relevant social, like, issue, everything, like just so many things that are so relevant in our life into a fantasy that is not, makes it seem like it's like thrown in your face. Like, you're reading this story and you're like, God, the Quinn or anyone outside of this protected city has been just tortured for no reason, and she's screaming about it and no one's listening to her. And I just, feminine rage in a book is this, okay? We also see Kara, which, oh my god, his niece is fucking hilarious and I love her, but she is just, I feel like I'm not explaining this book very well, okay? And I know I'm not, but I want everyone to know that this is an amazing book, and it is on the way to be a 5-star read. Like, I think I love this one more than I love The Sword of Kaigen, which is saying something. Like, honestly, the way I feel about this book is, I had a very visceral reaction to The Sword of Kaigen, don't get me wrong, because of what happens in that book, but I'll tell you now, this book is becoming one of my favorites, like, of all time, and I want to reread it, and I already know I want to highlight stuff. I've highlighted stuff because I was listening to the audiobook last night, and I pulled up the Kindle version because this was up here, and I highlighted stuff, and I definitely want to, like, reread. I love this book so much. I love it so much. So I wanted to pause here. Like, I would have just kept reading throughout the day. I have work to do where I can listen to an audiobook, and I wanted to stop and pause, and I wanted to tell you because I posted this morning that I was 62% into this book. That's where I got last night, and I've been listening all morning since I've been up, and yeah, now I'm 75%. So I knew I had to stop myself and be like, pause, you have to talk to the camera, you have to update them, because even though my thoughts, they're not cohesive at all, and I apologize for that. But usually when a book is so good, I usually don't have the words to say about it. Like, I don't know, I just don't have any, like, I can't articulate what I'm trying to say, okay? And Lizelle sent me a message off of my IG story this morning where I was like, this book has destroyed me, and she's like, get the tears, get your tissues ready, get ready for the tears. And that makes me scared. Like, I want to finish this book because I'm eating it up, but I'm like terrified the way the last 25% is gonna be, because I have a feeling I know where it's gonna be. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here because I've been talking for 9 minutes and I feel like nothing is making sense. So I apologize for that, but all in all, go read this book. All in all, go pick up one of her books. She is a new all-time favorite author. And I'm going to continue working, continue listening, and hopefully I don't cry. We shall see. I finished this book. Okay. So I did not cry. I did go get my nails done though, and I love the pink. I'm back to my pink. I haven't had pink nails and I can't even tell you how long. And I love the pink nails. Sometimes just a classic nude pink nail makes my day, and that's what it did. Okay, this book, I'm giving it 5 stars. I think it is absolutely beautifully written. Now, I did see the ending coming. Sayana is an interesting character, okay? She is a woman who is in this male-dominated industry. I don't even say industry, like all the mages are men besides her. And I could see where this was going when a certain part happens towards the end where she had no care. She was like, basically she said, fuck everything. I don't have anything else to live for. Like, what is the point of this happening? Like, I'm gonna go down with my work. Like, this is my life's purpose, is to do this. Like, okay. Now that I think about it, now that I'm thinking about the ending, I'm like, wow. She did all of that. Thomal did. He did all of that. Kara did. Oh my god. So, okay, this is not a romance. I'll tell you this, not a romance. No one ends up happily ever after together, okay? But this book is beautiful. This book is amazing. I like this. I like this more than The Sword of Kaigen, and I don't know if it's the way that it was written, because it's written the same way. It talks about different things. But for me, I just felt more of a pull to our female character in this book, mainly because she is a she doesn't have children, and I think like that makes her reckless in a good way with her work and everything like that. So like I appreciate both books, don't get me wrong, they're both amazing fucking books, but this one I love a lot more. I love a lot more, and I want to go and annotate this because I think there's so many amazing things in this book, like the parallels between what's happening in this book, what's happened in this book, and what's happening in the current climate of our country, if you live in the US and or across the world. It is so relevant, and it makes me angry. It makes me want to scream. And yes, this book ended in a way that I was thinking, I was hoping it wasn't going to end this way, but it did. And yes, I want to scream, but at the same time, I want to scream because no one's going to remember her. I think that's what gets me, is that no one's going to remember her. So, whoo! I want to talk about this more. So if you've read this book, let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you. You can DM me on Instagram. I always have my Instagram linked in the description box, same as like my TikTok, my Goodreads, all of the good stuff. But if you've made it this far and you want to let me know, leave me the lightning strike emoji with the blood drop emoji. Those two are good. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming along with me for this weekly reading vlog, reading 5-star predictions, because it was a whirlwind. I read 2 absolutely amazing books that I won't stop thinking about for a little while now. Thank you so much to Ultra Human for sponsoring this video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.